G'day everyone, Dan here. Welcome to North Queensland Barbecue and Brewing. It's been a while since I've released a video. We've just had our COVID and a lot of other stuff going on, so yeah, it's been a bastard for 4 weeks unfortunately. And last weekend we did a barbecue competition at Lambert, so anyway, today I'm doing a spatchcock chicken and I'm going to charcoal grill it, and I'll go into that part later, but at the moment I'm just preparing my ingredients. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to brine this chicken for about an hour. And that's about a cup of brining, the actual, I bought pre-made brine. I actually got this in the competition. It's the Lane's signature brine actually. So I've used, there's 1 cup of that in about 4 litres of water there. So I'm going to brine that for about 1 hour just to get some brine into it, maintain a bit of moisture. The way we're cooking it, you'll understand why we're doing that. The second thing I'm doing is, because I'm going to base this with a butter, basically butter and herbs. So I've got about 4 cloves of garlic here. And that's just melted butter in there, about 250 grams. So I've got that 4 cloves of garlic will go in. There's some thyme, some parsley, and basically a bit of rosemary into that. So that'll give me my fresh herbs. And this is actually, I've done this, I did this last week as a test run and it came up really good. So those herbs there will just get mixed into that butter, and what I'll do is I'll leave that for about an hour to just let those flavours sort of start to amalgamate into the butter as well. I made the brine about 2-3 hours ago as well, just to let those flavours. There's a lot of different things in this brine. So there's salt, brown sugar, apple cider vinegar powder, and different other things. There's a whole heap of herbs in there, thyme I think. So anyway, I'll get this. What I'm going to also add to that, so those herbs go in, stir them, and I'm going to base them on with a bit of rosemary. I'll add probably half a tablespoon of onion powder to that. And what I'm also going to add is a bit of this magic dust here. This here is the Lane's barbecue magic dust. I've used it on a fair bit of stuff. It's got things like paprika and all that sort of stuff I think in it. Anyway, yeah, paprika, smoked paprika, oregano, mustard. So I'm going to add a full tablespoon of that as well. So that'll add a lot of spices to it, obviously, and help with the colour of the chicken once we're done. So I'm going to leave that an hour. We'll come back and I'll get this this rotisserie going. I'll show you what I've made up to actually cook that chicken when we come back, and we'll go through that probably in about an hour's time. Alright, so I've got the chicken here ready to go. She's all brined up, about an hour in the fridge just to get some flavour and do a bit of moisture into it. I'm just going to pat it dry quickly. And then we're going to cut it and spatchcock it basically, cut it in half. So what you've got the wings here on the top and then the legs here on the bottom and the breast there. So I'm going to cut it from this side here, basically the wing side up. So I'll cut that once I'm happy with that. I've got my charcoal ready, it's all gone white on the top. So that bone that runs through the top here, basically I'm just going to cut down either side of it. And I'll sharpen the knife, so, and down the other side of that as well. And the dogs can have that. You can trim these up a little bit. Last time I did it, I took the ribs out and just trimmed up a bit of the crap that was on the inside that I don't need. So as you can see, it's not you got bits of liver and crap here from that. There you go, Deegs. And just trim anything off we don't need. So, this is going to be barbecue. There you go, dog. And basically char grilled, so it's going to be pretty nice. What we don't need, all this flappy, shitty skin here, anything awful on the inside. You've got, I don't know if you can see that, but you've got the ribs here, so I don't need them. So they can come out. Basically just trim, so just go carefully. And without getting close up, but unfortunately I don't have a cameraman here, but you'll sort of work that out. The rib cage, like that's it there, it's come out really easy on that side. Bit of this stuff here, it probably will render during the cook, but it's not really necessary. Now I'll just get this other side here, and that's that. Once again, that rib cage in here, you can trim that out. So that's it. I'm happy with that. I'll just give that this fat out. A lot of that fat will render. We're cooking it reasonably quick. Well, by quick I mean it's still going to take about 45 minutes. But there we go. That's pretty good. So this is up to your discretion how you want to trim it. The last chicken I bought from the butcher was Currajong Meat Barn, actually was really good. This one's just a local Steggles one, but yeah, that'll be fine. Happy days. So that can go to the dogs here, and they'll chew away on that. So what I'll do now, I'll just a little chicken juice on me, is I'm going to give this a light coat of the magic dust just on both sides. So you don't have to, but this will just add a bit of colour, a bit of flavour. And I'm going to let this sit on the bench here for about 5 minutes just to let that soak in, adhere to the meat, absorb in a little bit. And there we go. Make sure I've got everything. Yep. So now, basically I'll let that sit, but what I've got this. And the wife bought this a couple of years ago, and I've only actually just used it a few weeks ago finally for the chicken. So I'm going to place this in here as such, without trying to lose any of the rub. Touch more. Yeah, just good luck, why not? Close that up. So what I've done here, it's a bit thick there still, you'll find that the little thing that comes with it isn't quite enough. So really squash that down. And then I've actually got a bit of wire here that I put around it so I can actually wrap the wire and stop it coming apart. So now basically it's ready to go on our charcoal. Make sure that's good to go. So what I did about 4 weeks ago when I did this to start with is I made this up, and this is steel hollow section, just 20mm, and it's about 180mm high, with just some flat bar, 20mm flat bar welded. So it gives the chicken standoff, and basically I'm going to put that above the charcoal, but we'll come back and I'll show you how this works. Alright, so I've got a nice bit of coals there, and this will just put that into there, get that good. Sitting nicely there, and just make sure these coals are sort of evenly dispersed. They're not big, they've gone all wide over them, they've ashed over, so I'm pretty happy with that. And I've just got some spare lump charcoal on the side, but I've only got about probably 15mm to 2 centimetres of charcoal there, nice and warm. And basically this is just going to go on here like this, start to cook. So I've got the baste here as well. I made up this, it's just rosemary so I can baste it with. I'll give that probably about 3-4 minutes aside first, just to let this rub adhere and stick, and then basically that baste will start to baste on and flip it every 3 or 4 minutes for about 40-45 minutes. What will start to happen is that butter and that oil will start to drip down onto there and smoke up and give it a really nice char grilled flavour. So we'll come back in a few minutes. I'll give this 4 minutes, I'll flip it, then I'll give it another 3 or 4, and then we'll start basting it. We'll come back and just show you what we do with that. Alright, so there's a bit of smoke coming off that now, 4 minutes aside. And I've got this here, so just start basting it basically. What I'll do, I'll give that a couple of minutes just to sort of settle in, and then I'll flip it and do the other side, and I'll just continue doing this throughout the cooking process. And it's going to be really nice. With all the butter and that, you sort of understand why when you watch American barbecuers, why they're sort of rather rotund in their belly. Anyway, yeah, I'll give that a flip. Let that start to really smoke up now, as you can see. That butter being added and just starting to kiss the meat, that smoke. To start with, I'll just get a little bit more on, but as I progressively go, I'll just do less and less. This is the first layer of baste I'm doing now. But yeah, that's it. So basically turn it every 3-4 minutes. Just continue with the basting. If you've got to add more butter to this, because a lot of the herbs and that will still stay in there at the bottom, just continue to do that. The reason I made this early was just to allow those flavours to amalgamate into the butter. There we go. Yep, good to go. Alright, so I'll come back. I'll be sitting here for the next probably 45 minutes, just flipping this every 3 or 4 minutes and continuing to baste it. Like I said, if you run out of butter, just add more butter. You don't need to use the rosemary. I used a basting brush last time and did it with that. Just want to see if it makes a difference with the rosemary this time. So yeah, we'll come back basically when that hits about 73, 74 degrees internal. Alright, so that's how we're looking right now, and that's 65 internal. Nice close-up shot. But yeah, I'm at 65 internal. I've used up most of the base now. I've just a little bit left, maybe for a side or two more to go, and then I'll really start to crispy up that skin. So I've just been flipping that and rotating it around on the stand I made, so it's not cooking in the same sort of place every time. Moving at 90 degrees and 180 degrees to where it's sitting now. Alright, so I'm pretty happy with this now. The internal temperature's at 75 in the thickest parts. I'm about a degree over I need to be. So I'm just going to take it off now basically and place it to the side, and just I'm going to give that a bit of rest time now, probably 10 minutes or so before we carve it up, and we'll come back and have a look at this chicken. Alright, so we're ready to carve up this chicken, and it's come up really nice actually, and it's carving fairly easily as you can see. So I'll just get these legs off. There we go, a couple of legs. Oh dear, the wings. This is what Louise loves. You know what, I'll just slice that down there and see how we go. I want to try this myself. I'm really keen because the last one came up really nicely, and I'll just I'll give this a go. Just a bit of that breast there. I gave it about 10 minutes. It's still nice and hot, but it's maintained a lot of the juice. That's really good. It's a shame you can't taste it. It's real juicy. You get that charcoal flavour just comes up, you know, from all that fat dripping onto the coal, and that charcoal just comes straight back through it, and you get that real nice charcoal flavour in that. That's beautiful. Even that without the skin. And that's where the brining comes in handy too. So basically, you know, we brine that for an hour. I put the rub on it and basically just flipped it every 5 minutes. If probably less than that, probably about 3 minutes or so. It's up to you, depends on how hot your charcoal is. Keep an eye on it, you don't want to burn the crap out of it, so flip it every 2 or 3 minutes, baste it, and you end up with this beautiful chicken here. It takes about half the time it does to rotisserie, which is why I've started doing it. Just to get that really nice charcoal flavour, and it's actually better than a rotisserie chook, and I like rotisserie chook, so that says something. Anyway, that's how I spatchcock a chicken and cook it over charcoal. Obviously you need that cage that I've got there, and make up a little rack like I've done, or if you've got something that you can stand off already, just to give it that standoff. But yeah, that there's what you're looking at. So as you can see, it's really crispy on the outside and delicious, and there's heaps of juice in that. It's actually come back into the meat, just giving it that 10 minutes rest time. So yeah, that's a barbecue, charcoal grilled spatchcock chicken. Till next time guys, take care, and up the maroons for the other night too.